Hello, this is News Mongolian MNB World. I'm Jugdur. And for our top stories, updates from the regular cabinet meeting. The 10th International Ulaanbaatar Marathon to take place on May 25th. Mongolian businesses worked in London. For the news, stay tuned. During its session on May 1st, 2024, the Mongolian Cabinet made several decisions aimed at enhancing economic stability and strategic governance. From implementing laws regarding the Mongolian Sovereign Wealth Fund to addressing flour supply concerns and adjusting customs tariffs, these actions reflect the government's commitment to prudent management and citizens' welfare.
The Cabinet endorsed the resolution outlining steps to enforce the law regarding the Mongolian Sovereign Wealth Fund. Directives include depositing significant dividends into the savings fund for housing initiatives and establishing a consultation agreement with experts from Singapore to integrate best practices into Mongolia's sovereign wealth management. To mitigate potential disruptions in the supply chain, the Cabinet approved measures to ensure stable flour supply and reserves. This includes approving a list of essential items eligible for customs duty exemption to protect the animal husbandry sector and maintain flour availability, particularly during winter and spring seasons. In response to anticipated shortages in cement supply, the Cabinet lowered the customs tariff rate for cement imports from 20% to 5%. This amendment seeks to address potential shortages in construction materials and support ongoing infrastructure projects.
The Ulaanbaatar Marathon, an international competition, is scheduled for May 25, 2024, starting at Ulaanbaatar Square in Ulaanbaatar City, Mongolia. Established in 2014, the marathon aims to promote physical and mental well-being among teenagers and youth, foster the sport of running, and boost participation numbers.
The event features a full marathon spanning 42 kilometers and 195 meters, along with half marathons covering a distance of 21 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 5 and 1.5 kilometers. Special Olympics categories for distances 0.8 kilometers and half kilometer will also be included. Notably, half of the registered participants are enrolled for distances of 10 kilometers or more, with participant numbers increasing annually. For the convenience of attendees and spectators, a food court will be set up during the Ulaanbaatar Marathon 2024, with catering opportunities available for individuals and restaurants through collaboration with Lemon Praise, as indicated by Senchirma, a press representative for the Haipei company. International interest in the marathon is evident, with participation requests already received from countries such as Kenya, Japan, Germany, Great Britain, France, and the Russian Federation, as well as online registrations from Australia, Austria, the USA, and England. Presently, 4,334 requests have been received, with 1,678 confirmation of online registration.
Now please take a look at current affairs of Mongolia.
Under the auspices of the Youth Business Council of the Mongolian National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Global Mongolian Women Together non-governmental organization, representatives of Mongolian businesses in finance, education, construction, trade, manufacturing, and service industries were actively working in London between 29th to 30th April 2024. The businesses met Mrs. Ayuna Necheva, head of Europe, primary markets of the London Stock Exchange Group on 29 April 2024 and were introduced to the operations of the London Stock Exchange, including its innovative products and services, as well as successful experiences of raising funds via the stock exchange. The Embassy of Mongolia in London and the Mongolian British Chamber of Commerce jointly organized a networking reception with the participation of businesses of both countries at the embassy on 29 April 2024. The British Prime Minister's trade envoy to Mongolia, Member of Parliament Daniel Kavchinsky, received the Mongolian delegation on 30th April 2024 and discussed the possibilities of extending business relations between the two countries.
Now please take a look at currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Now please have foreign news partnered with international news agencies. First Lady Jill Biden hosted a special dinner at the White House for over 50 top educators from across the country, recognizing their dedication and excellence in teaching.
Traditionally, these teachers are honored with the White House ceremony after being selected by an organization representing elementary and secondary school educators. However, Jill Biden, who teaches English at Northern Virginia Community College, organized the Teachers' State Dinner as a new twist on the annual event.
Education comes down.
Welcome to the White House! And the first ever Teachers of the Year State Dinner. Tonight we celebrate you because teaching isn't just a job, it's a calling. And all of you were called to this profession for a reason. You believe that a better world is possible and you make that world real. Right now, someone out there is a better thinker because of you. Someone is standing a little taller because you helped her find the confidence that she needed. Someone is working a little harder because you pushed him to try. Someone is kinder because you showed her what that meant. And someone is braver because you showed them to find their courage.
The State Teachers of the Year from 49 states, along with representatives from American Samoa, the Northern Mariana Islands, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the District of Columbia, and the Department of Defense were in attendance. Notably, Florida did not participate this year.
Teachers are the ultimate facilitators of justice, fairness, equity, and democracy. No profession in American history is as pivotal as ours. We make democracy possible, both by educating the generation in front of us, but we also make all professions, every single one of them, possible. We hold the future of the country in our hands, just as every generation of teachers before us has done. It is a charge that we take seriously, and we will deliver just as legions of teachers before us have.
Also present at the event were Doug Emhoff, husband of Vice President Kamala Harris, and Education Secretary Miguel Cardona, highlighting the importance of education and honoring these outstanding educators.
The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, presented its economic forecast for 2024, offering a nuanced perspective that balances optimism with caution. In a press briefing in Paris, OECD Secretary General Matthias Cormann highlighted several reasons for cautious optimism despite ongoing challenges in the global economy.
One aspect of this optimism stems from the observation that while the global economy is still contending with persistently high interest rates and a tightly constricted labor market, there are notable improvements in terms of inflation management. Cormann highlighted that inflation levels have declined within sight of central bank targets, signaling progress toward achieving stable price levels.
There are now several reasons for some continued optimism for the months and quarters ahead. Yes, the impact of tight monetary conditions continues to be felt, particularly in housing and credit markets. However, global activity is proving relatively resilient. Private sector confidence is improving, inflation has declined within sight of central bank targets, and risks to the outlook are becoming more evenly balanced. High nominal wage growth and declining inflation are now helping real wages and real household incomes recover in many OECD countries. Real income growth last year was positive and stronger than in 2022 in the large majority of OECD countries with available data, which means that workers and households are benefiting more from economic growth again.
However, the OECD's forecast also includes a tempered outlook for economic growth within the Eurozone for the current year. Projections indicate that countries such as Germany may experience modest growth rates, with estimates as low as 0.2%. This downward revision reflects the intricate dynamics of the economic recovery, with different regions exhibiting varying degrees of resilience and progress.
There are a number of risks. First, inflation may fall more slowly than anticipated, squeezing incomes. In 2021 and 22, we saw big increases in the prices of goods and of food and energy, and this is now falling away. But as you can see from the size of the red bars here, services prices are playing a large role in headline inflation. Services inflation may prove particularly sticky as it is more closely linked to wages, and we are still seeing strong labour markets. If cost pressures in services do not fade, then interest rates may need to stay high for longer.
Chief economist Claire Lombardelli highlighted potential risks that could disrupt growth, including geopolitical tensions and pandemic-related impacts, underscoring the need for vigilance in economic management.
Thousands of Georgian youths took to the streets of Tbilisi in a mass protest against the controversial bill dubbed the Russian law, which many fears could stifle media freedom and jeopardize Georgia's efforts to join the European Union.
The demonstrators, rallying against the proposed legislation that would require media and non-commercial organizations to register as pursuing the interests of a foreign power if they receive more than 20% of funding from abroad, turned the protest into a lively street festival. They danced, sang and waved Georgian and European Union's flags, calling for the withdrawal of the bill. Initially gathered in front of Parliament, the protesters later dispersed throughout the city, showcasing their unity and determination to oppose the bill. This legislation resembles law used by neighboring Russia to target independent media and dissenting organizations critical of the government. Last year, the ruling Georgian Dream Party withdrew a similar proposal following widespread public outcry. However, this time, 83 out of 150 lawmakers approved the bill in its second reading, with 23 voting against it. A final vote is still required before the bill becomes law, and Prime Minister Irakli Kabahize anticipates this vote to take place in mid-May. Concerns persist that, if enacted, the law could restrict media freedom and steer Georgia away from its pro-European trajectory, prompting continued opposition from both within the country and internationally.
All right, that's all for today. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you next time with more news and updates. Have a good day.